So, Dee, to start off, are you able to explain what your role is and the work that you do at the Smith family?
Yeah, look, I've got a couple of roles with the Smith family. So the Smith family is, as you know, it's a children's educational charity, not-for-profit organisation, and we work in communities where there is a recognised disadvantage, and the Morwell Churchill community is one of the communities throughout Victoria that is a recognised community where our help is very much needed. We've been in Morwell Churchill for about 12 years, so we're quite well established in the community. We are located at Kurnai College, so we work very closely with that secondary school and its 4 campuses. We also work with all the feeder primary schools in Morwell and Churchill, as well as about 9 primary schools that we also work with. So our goal is to support these families to in their children's education. So we do offer a range of scholarships. So we have about 1,200 scholarships in the Morwell Churchill community. So we support those 1,200 students to get them through, hopefully, to year 12. So that's our goal. Our goal is to have students who will attend school, keep going all the way through to year 12, and also pathways beyond year 12. So that's our primary goal, I suppose, in this community. So my role is I support the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families in that scholarship area, but I also work with Christine on an additional program with the Smith family, and it's called our Indigenous Advancement Strategy program. So we have some funding through our Prime Minister and Cabinet, so we can support Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander families, to engage in education more fully, with the same objectives to try and get the students to not just attend school, but enjoy their school and education experience, and then go on to complete year 12 and have all alternative pathways, I suppose. So we're there for families' educational support, I suppose, fairly holistically. So that involves having a range of community events as well. So we have a sort of a community arm to our work, and we like to engage with the community, the wider community, in our programs, and we have a range of community and cultural events as well. So we don't just have Apology Day, we have NAIDOC, we celebrate NAIDOC with our families, National Reconciliation Week with our families, and we have, look, even just having an Easter event. I know we've had an Easter event in the past. It was when Easter was in the school holidays, and we just had families come into the school and we had a really fun time. So Christmas parties, we have, Christmas a break-up at the end of the year as well, to invite families to come along. So we have a range of events. So my work is really to try and set those events up with Christine's support and invite all of our families to come along and have a really good time.
Yeah, great. Yeah, what's your connection to Street Games, and how long have we been working together?
A really good question, and because my memory is not fantastic, but I would say it's at least 5 years. And I don't know how long you've been in the community, but I think I'm going back to an event that we had, and I'm thinking it was an Easter event, and I'm thinking it was 4 or 5 years ago.
It feels that long, doesn't it? Yeah. But we've only been around for 2.5 years.
Yeah. Oh, really? Well, okay. Well, it was 2.5 years ago, and we must have just got you when you just started. It must have been perfect timing, because we had an Easter event, and you guys came along. I'm pretty sure you came along and supported us at the Morwell campus of Kurnai, and you provided activities, recreational, like fun sporting activities, a range of them in the middle of that. Well, the courtyard isn't there anymore because they've bulldozed and rebuilt it all, but what was a big grass area, you were able to provide that day a lot of, really fun, engaging activities for the families and the kids, and it was really. And I know that our events, we tend to be very sort of last minute sometimes with our organising. I'm confessing here, and I think even the Christmas party was almost
like. We've always been able to help.
You have been able to help at a very short notice, because we've been thinking, what can we do with the kids? What activities? We need to have some activities for the families. We always do art and craft. We try and do sort of cultural art and craft. We do sometimes storytelling and things. But it's really important to have an activity where the kids can actually move. We know that kids love movement and physical exercise, and we just know kids need to let off some steam sometimes, and we need to have a range of activities. So certainly you guys, because I haven't got skills in that area, I call on you and your skills in that area. And you've always been forthcoming and been able to support us. Every time we've put up our hand to ask you or tap you on the shoulders, can you help us? You have done that. You've come through with the goods every time. And that happened at Christmas, last Christmas, with the guys that came along, and we had a lot of kids that night, and that was just, we probably wouldn't have been able to keep them all there for as long as we did without you guys providing the activity on the at the town common in Morwell. We hosted that event at the wooden fort. So your guys were there for a couple of hours at least, helping us to keep those kids there and happy and active until Santa arrived in the fire truck, and then we were able, and you know, it was really lovely because everyone was together, and we sort of, it really felt like it was a real community event, yeah, with a lot of our families and you guys that stayed, and from memory we didn't, because it was COVID, I don't think we could actually have food, so that we couldn't really even offer a barbecue. So that often is something that can take up half an hour, you know, people standing around eating, but we couldn't even do it. It was a BYO, that's right, it was a BYO dinner. And that made it a difficult event because we didn't have food. So, you know, the fact that your guys were there for the whole time and the kids were playing and involved in, you know, a team sport was really good. And it filled in that time that we normally could have a meal. We couldn't have that. And the same thing happened on Saturday at the Apology Day. And that we had a little game of soccer, and all of the family, we didn't get the kids, we got all the adults involved as well. So it was a full participation. I sent a photo to Anthea as well about the soccer game that we took place, because it was only probably about 20 of us, and there was, you know, 10 or 15 people on the soccer field. So that was really good. And it was a really good activity because it was a bit of an icebreaker. You know, with having a small group of people, it can sometimes be a little bit, I don't know, or not awkward, but it just, I got everybody out onto the grass, and everybody had so much fun. We were laughing the whole way through. No one knew what we were doing, and it just made it just such a lovely, just and a bit of an icebreaker. It just certainly did make us all connect, I think, and that's one of the great things that you guys do. You do encourage those connections, and you've got to talk to people. You know, you've got to sort of, you know, and you can laugh, and when you're laughing with a group of people, isn't it just such a nice feeling? It's I really enjoyed it anyway, and I think everyone else that participated had a great time, and it did break the ice with a lot of those families, and they got talking together, and the kids were talking together, and so it was positive in that regard as well. Yeah, it would have been nice to have had more people there, but look, didn't matter. Yeah, everyone that came had a great time.
That's great. So how did you find out about us, Dee, and what were your first impressions about the program?
Good questions again. I'm thinking, going back to 2.5 years ago, I don't know. I can't remember how we met. I'm wondering whether we might have met at an event, and it might have been during, I'm not quite sure what event it would have been, but there was a number of people. There might have been a kids' day. There was certainly a kids' day at Kernot Hall, I think. I think you guys were there providing support for that, the Family Fun Day or Children's Expo. Yeah, that's right. And I also think there was another event, and I think it might have been at the rec centre, and it might have been during NAIDOC, and it might have been a day during NAIDOC school holidays where you had the families could come along and be involved in a whole range of indoor, I think it was mainly indoor activities. Yep. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it was you were supporting the community's NAIDOC event as well. So I think we've just sort of bumped into each other just by being at the same events. And I know we've sent quite a few emails, and I've probably got information as well. And I always get your flyers, so I know you guys are around, and I know that you did a great job during COVID with your online activities, in which I did join a few of them and watched a few of them to see what was going on. And your flyer that Anthea gave me, your flyer, this one here, we have it's been in my bag, sorry, but I always put that on our newsletter. We have an IAS newsletter every month, And so I always put that on as an attachment as well. So I let all the families know what you guys are doing in the community. Yeah, so I think that's come through on some sort of community page, or you've sent it to me. So I also, yeah, I've just been, we're in the loop, I suppose, with it. Hopefully we are with each other and our work.
Yeah, sorry. So what benefits do you feel Street Games helps bring to the community and to your events? I mean, you've already kind of on some.
Yeah, look, it's for us. We know that the kids want to play a game. They want to be involved and do something that's physical. And I think your activities are often like simple games, but they're also team games and building that rapport with kids with each other. I've never seen any kids get into a fight or argue or anything like that. And for us, it's just a huge relief that we've got your support, that we know that the kids are going to enjoy being involved in whatever activities you arrange. I just have 100% trust in you guys to being able to deliver a professionally run, safe, fun, sporting game activity with those families that's inclusive. You don't have to be the fastest or it appeals to all. Well, I know it appeals to all ages and all abilities, I suppose is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And we just feel great relief. We know, right, street games are coming. We know it's like, we've got some things for the kids to be involved in, and we know they're going to have fun and enjoy it.
Yeah, and so do you think there are barriers to sport participation? And, do your young people struggle with accessing sport?
Yeah, definitely. We have huge barriers. We have families that can't afford to pay registration fees or even buy, sporting uniforms. So we know that it's a barrier. When they come to recruitment for scholarship, we say, look, I haven't got an issue with you using your scholarship payment to purchase your child's sports uniform or pay for swimming lessons, which they don't. It's cost prohibitive for a lot of our families to participate in anything like that. So I say, look, I think sport is part of their holistic education, even though it might not be delivered at a school, swimming lessons or riding lessons or buying their footy jumper or whatever. I still think it's so important. So I say use your scholarship payment if it's going to help them to be involved in sport, which is so crucial to their mental well-being, their physical well-being. Go ahead and do it. It's educational, definitely. So we do have barriers to our families participating in sport. We've got problems with them even getting their transport. Like sometimes we have to pick up our families to take them to events. So they're not going to be able to take their children to training sessions or, if it's Saturday morning footy or netball or hockey or soccer, they can't even get there. So participation-wise, there's a lot of barriers, and a lot of them are financial barriers, yes.
And so it's great that Street Games is accessible and it's free and it's usually somewhere where it's easy to get to.
Yes, yeah. So look, I know that the fact that they are usually easy to access for our families is really important, because a lot of our families do rely obviously on public transport to get around, and the fact that they're cost free. Yeah, definitely. They anything that's free, we just wholeheartedly support, because that they're attractive for our families, and we want our families to be involved.
Great.
I suppose another good thing about that, even from remembering the Christmas event last year, I was there myself, and I think from there I've seen a few students at some of the schools that Street Games goes to, and they kind of already have, we have a rapport, we know each other, and then I think at one of the events I had one of the kids from the Christmas event helping me out, so he was helping out with the scooter group that we had, and it's good. They really feel included and stuff, so it's really awesome.
Yeah, that's a great outcome too, Jay. Yeah, and that familiarity, because you're coming to our events and they know you guys. Yeah, they'll if they see you out in the community, our families are very responsive to that, and they are very appreciative as well. And I think there's a real genuine appreciation of what you guys do and the service that you provide by our families, because they've come to see you at all of our events. Basically, you're always there, and they understand it, that you're there volunteering your time too. So no, there's great appreciation for what you do.
Yeah, awesome. yeah, is there any sort of like comments or anything cool you've heard about street games? Like what outcomes and impacts that have like really happened in the community? Like for instance, them making new friends with coaches or even some team bonding games and things like that. Do you hear anything from the players?
Look, not really. And as I said, I'm probably not the right person. Christine might have had more experience with talking to families about that. No, I just see the way that you guys engage with them when you're there. My observations are on the ground when you guys are there, and I can just see that you're really professional about the way that you interact with the kids and their families, and you are very inclusive and encouraging. And I think, and warm and easy to, just lovely people to work with. All of the people that I've worked with at Street Games over the last 2.5 years have been great. 10 out of 10 for everybody that's employed there. I think you guys are really passionate about your work, and you can see that you are passionate, and you can see that you really enjoy it, and that's really important. That you're really role models is what I'm probably trying to say as well for a lot of those kids, that you are role models. And particularly, sounds a bit sexist here, but particularly male role models, because our families don't have a lot of really positive male role models in their household. So to have males being supportive, being warm, being empathetic with them, it's really important to have that, for a lot of those kids, because a lot of them have might have an abusive male relationship with family members, and to see males that aren't like that is really important too. And you might not think that when you're out there, but I think it is important that they can see some males in positive roles.
Is there any priorities that you think Street Games should be focusing on moving forward?
Look, I don't know. I think your approach is really good. The fact that I think just going gently. Well, just at the moment, going slowly, going gently. As you say, the community's rebounding. Don't have too high expectations. Don't overwhelm and throw too much out there. I think families will rebound and they will come back, but it's just going to take a little bit longer. So just keep doing what you're doing. You sound like you've got a really sensible approach. Your understanding of the community and what it needs, and the fact that it is traumatized, and that it's going to take a while for things to get back to what it was pre-COVID, really, with everything, with their participation in lots of different things, in school and education is where I'm involved. I know that there's difficulty there at the moment, but with you guys it's probably similar, in that the families are reluctant to participate, just not knowing how safe things are, and also that a lot of kids aren't in the right space mentally and perhaps even physically at the moment to participate. So just to keep offering the programs like we do. We keep offering everything, and if we get 2 or 3 families that are involved, we think that's a win. And then hopefully you build those trust relationships. We find that building those relationships is the most important thing we can do, and over time we'll get higher participation and engagement because of those relationships that we're building on the ground.
That's great. Thanks, Dee. That resonates with us, and that's absolutely something that it's a model that we're taking. It's slow and steady, and appreciate the wins. Even if it is 1 or 2 or 3 people, because that's 1 or 2 or 3 people that wouldn't have access to the program otherwise.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Exactly. And word of mouth, they'll pass the word on to their friends that, hey, we went to this event, it was really good, it was well run, there were these activities, we had a good time, we just felt really comfortable in that space. Feeling comfortable is really important for our families. They don't feel threatened, and that's why we like to have as many events as we can on the school grounds, because we want the school to be a place where families feel welcome and safe. And that's our goal, is to have more and more families on the school grounds. Yeah, so if we have events in the future, we do hope to have them at the school. And I know you guys have come along and supported us at those anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So we've talked quite positively about the program. Is there anything, any feedback for improvement, or anything you think we need to focus on
No, look, I think you guys are doing a great job. I haven't got any recommendations. I just think keep doing what you're doing. You're great. You're as I said, you've always been great supporters of us, especially because we're often last minute, and you've been able to support us at the last minute, but offer a really good quality, engaging, professionally run activities for our families. So we really appreciate it. Just keep up the good work. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, Dee. And so that brings us to a close. Is there anything else you'd like to add, or anything that we haven't asked you that you'd like to add?
No, I think everything's good. If I think of something, or if Christine has anything else, I'll send it through to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. So if you can speak to Christine, and if she'd like an interview, just send through availability, and we'll line up as we have with you. Otherwise, she's more than happy to. We're more than happy for her to send through a video based on those questions that we've sent through. If you just pull out a couple of questions, and that might help complement your interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Dee.
You're welcome. Nice to see you, Nice to see you, Jay.
You too.
Thanks again.
Yeah,
thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.